All right, everybody. Good late afternoon or early evening for some of you. We got a football game starting in not too long here. Reminder that I will be streaming with the Hawks Nest tonight. Tonight, we will be talking about the Patriots game. We're going to be looking back at the Broncos game a little bit as well. So be sure to be there. Should be starting right around 8 o'clock Pacific. And let's take a look at the latest injury report, or if you prefer, practice report from the Seahawks and the Patriots today. Honestly, not ideal. Not ideal for the Seattle Seahawks. Patriots kind of in line with expectations overall, I'd say, but Seahawks, we got some genuine concerns now. So we got the latest from Greg Bell here on X. Let's take a look. Starting with the did not participate. Now, we know about Nwosu. Nwosu's probably not going to practice at all this week because we already know he's out, so there's nothing to say there. But no K9, no Ken Walker, that's kind of the big one, and no George Fant. So I would say at this point, it's looking more likely than not that both guys will be out for the Patriots game, which is a big loss. That is certainly unfortunate. And it's I'm not surprised about Fant. Walker, though, the way they were talking about it after that game, I really didn't think it was much of anything. So this is certainly unfortunate. I don't know exactly where he got hurt. I guess he slipped on a late play where he almost got the first down and he didn't get it because he slipped. Probably happened there. But I didn't see much, so I'm surprised that he's going to be missing any time at all over this. We do have the ability to survive without K9 for a game or two, of course. The issue being that against a New England defense that does have some nice players, and given the fact that the Seahawks showed they could not pass protect on Sunday, and you're losing George Fant in all likelihood as well, I think you wanted to run the ball a lot, and it's going to be a little bit harder if you don't have your best running back. So no Walker, no Fant at practice today, and also no Pharaoh Brown, who was limited on Wednesday. So that tells me they saw something they didn't like, or something got worse, or something didn't go the way they were hoping. So now I kind of have to flip back on that one to where I'm wondering, is he going to play? And based on this trend, I think the answer is probably no. So not great, not ideal, not loving what I'm seeing here on this injury report. And I know New England's a pretty weak team. I know New England doesn't have a lot going for it. And I certainly will go into that game expecting to win no matter what, but this is not ideal. The good news is Tyrell Dodson practiced today in a limited form after not practicing on Wednesday, so it looks like he's on track to be fine. And most of the other stuff that happened today was in line with expectations. Lockett was limited. He's probably going to be limited all season, if we're being real here. It doesn't really mean anything. He's a veteran. He doesn't really need to be part of proceedings at all times. So that's fine. Not thrilled about all the other guys who remained limited today, but again, if you're limited now, you're probably playing Jerome Baker, limited with a hamstring, Draymond, limited with a hamstring, and Woolen, limited with a hamstring. Still Trey Brown, limited with a quadricep. Again, they don't really define exactly what limited means on each day. It could mean you did a little bit. It could mean you did almost everything. It's broad, but I certainly would have preferred to see these guys get wiped off the LP list completely. The only guy who got wiped off the LP list completely was Noah Fant. He went to FP, or full participation, today with the toe injury, so that means he's certainly good to go, and everything is certainly fine there, although I wouldn't necessarily assume that he's going to be completely 100% because he didn't look 100% to me against Denver, so you might just have to live with that for another game. And then you've got Tomlinson and Bradford still in full participation mode, so should be no issue there, or very, very minor issue. So you look for things to get better from Wednesday to Thursday on the injury report. Not really a lot of that. The only guy who quantifiably got better would be Dodson and Fant, right? And most of this stuff should be fine. Most of this stuff should be totally survivable. Most of this stuff should be manageable in the sense that these guys are still going to play, but I was hoping for a much shorter list today personally. So not over the moon. And at this point, yeah, I think K9 is probably not playing, Fant is probably not playing, and Farrell Brown is probably not playing. And that's something that is going to hurt the running game, and it's going to hurt our ability to compensate for not having the dominant running game that we had against Denver. So, not my favorite tune right now, but a lot of this other stuff showing that we should be all right, right? Like anybody on the LP list on Thursday should play. Everybody in FP should, of course, play. So, could be worse. New England side of things, they stayed largely within expectations. Not totally. Sidney Sow is still out, and New England reporters are saying he's not going to play, which I've said it before, I'll say it again. Sidney Sow is not, I mean, he's not Quentin Nelson, but losing Sidney Sow is a big deal for that New England team because their offensive line is so weak as it is, they can't really afford to lose him. So that New England offensive line that looked really bad before the season started and looked really bad in week one should continue to be really bad this week. A couple of the guys who were resting yesterday are no longer listed here. However, they did add some new names to the list, right? You've got Antonio Gibson was still limited from Wednesday. You had Vidarian Lowe limited still. Jabril Peppers limited. Uche limited. Dietrich Wise Jr. limited. And they added Kyle Duggar, one of their starting safeties, one of their top safeties. Jermichael Hasty, another running back. So they took one running back off in Stevenson, who in fairness is their top running back, but they added Hasty. You've got, Anfrey Jennings is still here. And then you add Layden Robinson. So they did actually pull a few new guys onto the limited participation list. But again, if you're limited in practice, you're probably playing. It would take, there are certain kinds of injuries that feel like can force you to not practice even if you're, or excuse me, not play even if you're practicing a little bit. But generally speaking, if you're limited on Wednesday and Thursday, you are probably going to be fine to play when you actually need to on Sunday. So nothing really earth-shattering over here. What you would be looking for on a day like Thursday would be somebody added to the DNP list. That would indicate that something went wrong in practice, somebody got dinged up, and somebody's in trouble. But you can see that Sal remains the only name that didn't participate. Again, I would anticipate that he's not going to play, but it's not going to be anything more than that. So that's the latest and greatest from the injury report, the practice report. Not thrilled with what I'm seeing right now, but we've got a lot of weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Should be able to overcome this. So, and no excuses at the end of the day. All right, I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think. Remember, stream coming up in like 3 hours, so be there. And yeah, go Hawks.